it's Charisma with Charisma's Corner, and we are in the Little Pink Barn. And today we are working on a quilt called Switchback. And what I love about this quilt is a few things. One is that it uses scraps. So I do have some constants in here, but you could feel free to change those if you want a complete scrappy quilt. But I tend to like some constants because it helps with defining a pattern, and it helps with yardage and that sort of thing. So sometimes it's really hard for me to design a quilt with scraps because I need to be able to have definitive amounts of fabric and without a whole bunch of waste or whatnot. So it's a process to learn that. So I try to do like something that will use quarter yard cuts or fat quarters or something like that. And then I have some constants. So your constants are the black, white, and gray. But those gray ones, obviously you could just use a smattering of colors. You could, make it a different constant to, shine a light on the center of the block. But I forgot to tell you that this pattern offers two sizes. So there is 72 by 96 and 48 by 60. But also the great thing about this quilt is that all of the blocks are the same, and you can treat it just like you can a log cabin block. So you could totally lay the blocks out in a different way, like a barn rising setting, or there's just a myriad of, any way that you can do a log cabin setting, you can do this block as well. I have it set so that the spiral kind of is the off-center spiral. It's a more modern setting. I tend to like it. I like when my eye is drawn to move around the quilt. But again, do it however you want. So I think it would be amazing to see this in all different settings, layouts, colors, patterns, whatever. So I'm going to show you how to make the block. It's pretty easy. As long as you know how to make a half square triangle, you'll be able to get this block. So let's get going on Switchback. So the first thing that we're going to do is use our white and our black to make some half square triangles. I've marked the line, so all we need to do is sew on both sides of that line. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and cut that. Okay, and then we're going to press these open. Okay, now we have all of our half square triangles. And now we're going to start. Oh, the other thing that we have to do, we have our centerpiece, some of our black units for the block, but then we have two colored strips that go onto each block, so just random colors. And here I have an aqua and a pink color, and we're going to do the stitch and flip method, but you do need to pay attention to the angle of how you do this. So it's all laid out in the pattern. But so I have the small one going this way and I have the large one going this way. So all we're going to do is sew on that line directly. So let's do that. Okay, and now we can start laying out our block to kind of see how this goes. So we need this black piece, and then we need a triangle, and we have to really pay attention to the angles that we put these. So we need to sew these together like this, and then we need to sew a triangle to our gray piece like this. So we need to sew these three together. here is how our block goes together. So now we can start. I'm going to sew these two little ones together in the corner. Here is our block right here. Here's the block, and you can see how the block is right here, right here, right here, right here. So those are obviously for coming together, but they kind of go around in this swirl, and this is called Switchback. Great for scraps, great for stash, great for anything that you want to do with it and any setting that you want to use. And it offers 2 sizes, and it is a perfect way to just do some mindless sewing, chain piecing, and get a quilt done. So thanks for joining me in the Little Pink Barn, and please like and share my videos. I'm really trying to build up my YouTube, and you can also kind of tell me what kind of content you'd like to see. I am open to suggestions and ideas because I am really trying to think of anything that might inspire all of you. So like and share my Instagram, Charisma Horton. My site is charismascorner.com, and of course YouTube. Bye.